Hello, I'm Erin Halvorsen, and thank you for joining me in Rag Rugs by Erin. This is going to be part 2 of how to crochet a basket, which is a little different than my other videos, but how to crochet a basket around using rope and leftover scrap material from maybe what you have from quilting or something. So let's go ahead. In the first video I went over your tools. We're going to quickly do that, and we're not going to cover quite as much. We used some sort of nylon or polyester rope. This happens to be 1/4 inch, and the one I was working on was actually 5/16, and this is all nylon rope. So this is the basket that was done with this 5/16 rope. This was donated to me. You do not need rope this thick. However, this was free. So use what's available to you at an inexpensive price. Remember to use polyester or nylon. I'm going to try some cotton clothesline as well, and we'll see how that does. But anyways, we're going to show how to finish this rug, and the first video we showed how to begin it. So we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to continue on and show you how to work on the bigger sides, how to add stitches, how to get around it, and then we're going to show you how to transition up. We're going to be using this material that I cut up. This was given to me, gorgeous material, but I just didn't think I'd be making it with a quilt because you'd have to have a theme. So you can see I cut it up and used it for this. I love these colors. They're gorgeous. So this will be part of what I'm going to use on the sides, and I'll add that in a little bit. You're going to use, on this one I'm using an end hook or a 10 millimeter. Use an O, a P, whatever you think you have available to you already possibly. You need a good pair of scissors as always, and in my first video we used clothespins. So we're going to continue on this. We're going to get some close-ups here of me coming around this corner at a much easier. You can see the little bunches at the beginning, and when I was doing the other video it looked kind of messy at the beginning, but really it's hidden quite well. Okay? It's hidden quite well once you get it all together. So remember that when you're working, just to persevere on. Okay. We're going to be doing a single crochet around this. You kind of keep your fabric over your rope. You're going to go into the hole. We're going to immediately add an extra stitch. So you're going to go into this hole. You're going to grab your material. You've got both pieces there. Cross over and pull them both off. Because these were all single crochets one at a time. Okay, there weren't two in the same hole. Now it's time I add one, so I'm going to add another single crochet in the same hole because we have to add stitches periodically to get around the corner. This is a really great way to add stitches. It's easier than when you're making an oval rag rug. You have to gauge a little bit more. The rope kind of helps with the rigidity to help you kind of gauge, do I need to add another stitch? That was a single crochet. My other videos show how to do the single crochet much slower, and even have a video just showing the single crochet, which you can view. So we're going to do another single crochet. I think it's time that we're going to add. See how it's farther away? It's starting to get farther away. I'm going to add 2 in the same hole to come around that corner. So you're just going to judge it as you go along. Well, I'm going to have to add some material. I'm ready to go ahead and add material and start going up. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. I will still do that second single crochet there, and I'll show you how to transition up. So we're going to do the no-sew method. I have it on video. I make sheet yarn on several different videos. They're all marked of what kind of video it is and what it's teaching you in that video. So you're going to make a slit in this one. There's a slit in this one. You're going to feed it. This is the one that's attached to the basket or the rug. You're going to take the one you're attaching and you're going to slide it through like that. This is going to be in a pretty long strip. So it's not the whole thing, but it's a pretty long strip. I think there's 2 pieces in here. I'm going to pull it all off. And I also taught how to do it in one long strip. I just filmed that, and that'll be up, available to you too. So that's something new I've taught my viewers. I would think I'm almost to the end of this. Ooh, this is a long one. Okay, that's another one there. You're going to take the other end, fold it, put a little slit in it. Now I'm going to feed it through the other end of itself. Okay, this is the other end of itself. You're going to slide it right through there. This is the no-sew technique to add, so you don't have to have a sewing machine. You can be doing this portable in your car. Now, whatever you're doing, I love this technique. I do it all the time. It's my favorite technique. I still occasionally will have my sewing machine because I'm working on something and I've got the sewing machine out. But sometimes my sewing machine is covered up with something else, or it's not got the right color thread, so I don't want to be bothered. So, and you're just going to pull this, smooth it out, pull it, and pull it this way and that way, and look at that. You joined another piece of material. I think it's groovy. Okay, so we're going to add one more in that same hole because we're getting around the corner. So we had two there. Okay, now I'm going to undo just a little bit more rope, so I have a little bit more free rope available to me. We're going to show you how to start going up the side. See, we had to make a transition so we could start going up the side. What we're going to do, instead of how we've gone into the hole in between the stitches, we're going to then transition to the back stitch. Okay, I'm not a professional crocheter, so you may be calling it something else. But see how there's two pieces right here that you normally go under when you're doing the rag rugs? I also use this back stitch when I made my circle rug too. You may have remembered me using it there. You're going to go into that back one. Okay, just the back one, and you're going to then go all the way around using only the back one. What you're not going to do at this point, you're going to stop adding stitches. Some of you have made rugs and will know, oh, it starts to bowl up on me. Well, you're going to use that to your advantage, and that's what's going to help you to get around this and have it start coming up. So you're going to go into every stitch. Do not add any more stitches at this point by putting two in any one of these holes. Use the back part of it like this. I'm going to do a few more, then we're probably going to pause, and I'm going to come back as we get close to making a second time around so you can see. Do a few more stitches. And you see how sometimes you can see the color of the material and sometimes you can't. I don't worry about that. Some of you might, and by all means, if that's important to you. I like to have all the different colors. So the back is just a muted of the front, and I kind of sometimes will switch it up if it tends to get too much one way or the other. Oops, I missed the rope. You have to have it over the rope and grab it. Okay, we'll stop right here and let's see how I can already see it starting to come up. It's just barely starting to come up. If you were making a rug, you'd be frustrated. You would not be liking that at all. But since it's a basket, this is the way we're going to do it. So I'm going to stop and come back in just a moment, and I'll show you as we get a little higher. Thank you. Okay, now we've come all the way around, and we're almost to where we started by just going in the back. So I'm going to do a few more final stitches. We were going in the back of the stitch right here to bring it over here to where we actually started where we were transitioning up, and show you what we're going to do to maintain the sides. So you're going in the back stitch like you were just watching. Do a couple more. We're just about there where we've come all the way around. See, here's a little step up here. I kind of try to hide them sometimes. You don't see them so much. There you go. Back into the back of that stitch. And we're still crocheting around the rope. Okay, so we've come all the way around. And now, in order to continue with the sides, we're going to actually go back to that same hole right there. The hole that's between the stitches. We're now going to go back, and that's all we're going to do, is we're going to go back to the stitch that we were doing in between. Now that we've done that one stitch all the way around in the back, we're going to go return, not go back, we're going to return to the stitch that we were doing all on the bottom, where we're going to go into the hole. See how we're going into the hole between the stitches? It's kind of hard to see right there. That's the hole that we're going into. That's where we were just... Remember, Once you start the sides, you do not add any stitches. You only maintain what you're already doing, because that will keep it going straight up. If you add stitches, it's just going to make the edges look silly and out of kilter. So now in this part, on the bottom, we added stitches to get around the bottom, but once you get going up, you don't add any more stitches. So right there, in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to finish it with that other basket. So here, you see how it just keeps continuing up? And that will give you the effect that you see on this other basket. This basket I'm going to make a little taller than that one. Okay? So if you just continue up, that's the effect that you're going to get. So we're going to move over to that and show you how to finish this basket. I had it almost finished, and I pulled it out because I thought this is a great basket for me to show you. It's got a nice wide open area. You can make smaller baskets, but this is the one we have. So you see that I went ahead and cut this off. The rope that was here, you can see it doesn't look so great. We did the handles. When you do the handles, you're going to just decide how wide of an area, and you're going to stop it wherever you want, and then just proceed up the rope, just a single. And when you get down here, wherever you decide, however wide you want it, you just grab back into that hole like we were doing before, and keep continuing on. Then decide, look, kind of measured how far, how many stitches did I leave, how many stitches did I add there. Just show some consistency, and do the same thing on the other side. You can see how sturdy this is going to be. Then I had decided where I was going to end it. I continued on so this wouldn't pull out. I continued on, and I'm going to end it right over here at the end of this, and then I'm going to hide where I ended down there. But I'm going to continue on so it has really strong, that handle. So I'm trying to make something very useful, not just decorative. I mean, it's nice to have things that are decorative, and we want them to be attractive, but I'm just continuing on like you just saw on the other one, and this is just farther up. And see, I don't like that, so I'm going to pull this out a little bit, and I'm going to flatten out my material because it's already been kind of bunched up. That's part of the problem, because I've already done this once, and then I decided to pull it out so I could show you how to do this. So kind of flatten the material a little bit to kind of grab it. There we go. And I'm going to flatten this again. And just continue on. I'm going to finish it right here. Do one more after this. Okay, so this is how I'm going to finish it. Finish one more stitch. I'm going to hide it down in here. What you're going to use, just like when I show you how to finish my rugs, you're going to use a tapestry needle or a yarn needle. I remember I always use a metal one. I don't use one that's plastic because they tend to fall apart. Tapestry needle has a nice big hole. I think this is a number 13. And it has the dull tip on the end, and it's very easy to thread when you're using sheet yarn. So you're just going to take the end of it and thread it through. Okay, so now I have it, and we're going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out, make this hole bigger, grab the tail, kind of cinch it down. Then you're going to have this tail that needs to kind of be hidden somewhere. So all we're going to do with this, there's other ways to do it. You could, figure out something else. This is how I'm making a suggestion of how you can do it. Occasionally I have someone who writes and says, well, couldn't you have done this? Certainly. If you think that'll work, try it. But this is just so you can have somewhere to go with this. Okay, so then you're going to take your needle, and I'm going to do it on the inside as opposed to the outside because it's not going to be as noticeable. And I'm going to try to grab, but you got to be careful you don't grab the rope. So I'm just going to feed it through. And see, now look at that. It pulled it right down. You really can't see where it was ended. Then we're going to go through and what I tend to do is I tend to go one direction for a little ways, and then I will come back and go a different direction. So longer tail than I a lot of times will work with. But this is what we have, and so we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay. So I'm not going to continue on. You're going to continue on. I would go underneath. Then I would just come back down and go the other direction and go along here a few more stitches if you have that much to go like this. Then you're just going to give it an extra little tug, snip the end, and tug it back, and it will vanish. Hey, I almost forgot. Of course, you can see the rug is the basket is now finished, but there's another thing that you can do. If you look at the texture on this, this is what the bottom of the rug usually looks like when we do rugs as opposed to baskets. But this is a really cool thing that you really want to consider doing, and turning it inside out. And I think this is the right way, because then it will lay, just got to push it all out, it will lay with the rim of the basket kind of pushing out a little bit. And to me that seems more normal and natural. So just flatten it all out and see if you can see how nice that looks there. That's the look that I want to see. So here it is the reverse way. And a good thing about this too is somehow if you get a stain on it, you could always flip it the other way. So thanks for viewing, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.